What if the treasure you are searching for is not hidden far away, but buried inside the person you become while searching for it? Have you ever felt that your life is calling you toward something bigger, but fear keeps you standing in the same place? Maybe you have a dream, a plan, a quiet wish inside your heart, but every time you think about following it, another voice whispers, "What if you fail?" This is the deep question behind Paulo Coelho's famous novel, The Alchemist. It is not just a story about a boy searching for treasure. It is a story about dreams, fear, signs, destiny, patience, love, and the mysterious way life tests a person before giving them what they truly desire. At the center of this story is a young shepherd named Santiago. He is not a king, not a warrior, not a rich man, and not someone with great power. He is an ordinary boy with an unusual dream. And that is why his story feels so close to us. Because most people are not born with everything ready in their hands. Most people begin with confusion, hope, doubt, and a small dream that nobody else fully understands. Santiago's journey begins when he feels that his life may have a deeper meaning than simply repeating the same routine every day. The most powerful thing about this story is that Santiago is not unhappy because his life is terrible. He has freedom, he travels with his sheep, he sees new places, and he lives a simple life. But still, something inside him feels unfinished. This is important because sometimes people think they should only chase dreams when their current life is painful. But the truth is, even a comfortable life can become a cage if your soul is calling you somewhere else. The book asks us a quiet but uncomfortable question. Are you living your real life, or only the safe version of it? Santiago's dream pushes him toward the idea of treasure. But in a deeper sense, the treasure represents more than gold. It represents purpose. It represents the thing that makes your heart feel awake. For one person, that treasure may be a business. For another, it may be art, education, travel, family, freedom, peace, or self-discovery. The treasure is different for everyone, but the fear is almost always the same. The fear says, stay where you are. Do not risk what you already have. Do not listen to your heart. One of the strongest lessons of The Alchemist is that a dream is not enough. Many people dream, but only a few people move. Santiago's story becomes meaningful because he decides to act. This is where most real lives get stuck. We wait for perfect timing. We wait for approval. We wait until fear disappears. But fear rarely disappears before the journey begins. Most of the time, courage means walking while fear is still walking beside you. As Santiago begins his journey, he learns that the world does not simply hand over treasure. First, life tests his faith. He faces loss, confusion, betrayal, and moments where everything seems to be going wrong. This is one of the most realistic parts of the story. When people start chasing a dream, they often imagine that life will immediately reward them. But usually the first thing life gives them is a test. The test asks, do you really want this, or were you only excited for one night? This is why the story connects so strongly with people who are trying to change their lives. Anyone can feel motivated for one day. Anyone can say, I will follow my dream. But when problems come, when money becomes tight, when people laugh, when results do not appear quickly, that is when the real journey begins. Santiago's path teaches us that obstacles are not always signs that we should quit. Sometimes obstacles are signs that we are being shaped into the person who can handle the treasure. Another important idea in the book is the idea of signs. Santiago slowly learns to pay attention to the world around him, not in a magical, careless way, but in a thoughtful way. He begins to notice patterns, opportunities, warnings, and unexpected help. In real life, signs may not look like miracles. A sign can be a conversation that changes your thinking, a failure that redirects your path, a person who gives advice at the right time. A mistake that teaches you something you could never learn from comfort. But this idea also carries a warning. We should not sit still and wait for signs while doing nothing. The story does not teach laziness. It teaches awareness. Santiago moves first, and then the path reveals itself step by step. This is a powerful lesson for anyone building a future. If you stay in the same place forever, you may never see the road. But when you take the first step, you begin to notice doors that were invisible before. Throughout the journey, Santiago meets people who represent different ways of living. Some people dream but never act. Some people act but forget why they started. Some people become trapped by fear. Some people become wise through patience. These characters are not just people in a story, they are mirrors of human nature. We can see parts of ourselves in them. Sometimes we are the dreamer. Sometimes we are the person afraid to lose comfort. Sometimes we are the person waiting too long for the perfect moment. One of the most emotional lessons in The Alchemist is that not everyone who talks about dreams is willing to pay the price for them. Many people love the idea of success, but they do not love sacrifice. They want the treasure, but not the desert. They want the reward, but not the loneliness. They want the final victory, but not the long silence where nothing seems to happen. Santiago's journey reminds us that every meaningful dream has a cost, and the cost is often patience, discipline, and trust. The desert in the story becomes a powerful symbol. A desert is empty, silent, and difficult. It does not give comfort easily, but because it is empty, it forces a person to listen more deeply. In life, every person has a desert season, a time when nothing seems clear, a time when progress feels slow, a time when you feel alone with your dream. But those seasons are not useless. They teach us how serious we really are. Many people quit in the desert stage of life. They begin with excitement, but when the road becomes quiet, they think the dream is dead. But sometimes silence is not the end. Sometimes silence is the training ground. In silence, Santiago learns to observe, to wait, to understand, and to trust. And in our own lives, the same thing happens. The quiet seasons can make us stronger if we do not run away from them too soon. Love is another major part of Santiago's journey, but the story presents love in a mature way. It does not say love should destroy your dream. It does not say a dream should destroy love. Instead, it suggests that real love does not imprison a person's soul. Real love gives strength. Real love does not say, "Stay small so I feel safe." Real love says, "Become who you were meant to become." This idea is powerful because many people confuse attachment with love. They think love means holding someone tightly, but sometimes love means believing in someone's journey, even when it is difficult. The book also explores the connection between the heart and fear. Santiago learns that the heart is not always calm. The heart can be afraid. The heart can complain. The heart can remind us of pain. But still, the heart carries something important: truth. In real life, listening to your heart does not mean making foolish decisions. It means paying attention to the quiet truth inside you, the truth that remains even after fear, noise, and opinions fade away. One of the most beautiful messages of The Alchemist is that the journey changes the traveler. Santiago begins as a boy searching for treasure, but slowly he becomes someone wiser, stronger, and more awake. This is why the treasure is not only about the final destination. If he had received everything at the beginning, he would not have become the person he needed to become. Sometimes life delays the reward because we are not ready for it yet. The delay is not always rejection. Sometimes the delay is preparation. Think about this in your own life. If your biggest dream came true today, would you be ready to handle it? Would you have the discipline, wisdom, patience, and character to keep it? Many people want success quickly, but quick success can destroy a person who has not grown enough to carry it. Santiago's journey teaches us that becoming is just as important as receiving. The story also challenges the way we think about failure. Santiago loses things, he makes mistakes, he trusts the wrong situations, he faces moments where his dream seems foolish, but every failure becomes part of the map. This is a lesson many people need today. We often treat failure like proof that we are not meant for something, but failure can also be information. Failure can show us what we need to learn. Failure can remove illusions. Failure can make us sharper, humbler, and more prepared. The deeper Santiago travels, the more he realizes that the world is connected in mysterious ways. His personal dream is not separate from life itself. When he follows his path sincerely, he meets people, lessons, and moments that help shape him. This does not mean life becomes easy. It means life becomes meaningful. There is a big difference between an easy life and a meaningful life. An easy life avoids pain. A meaningful life transforms pain into wisdom. This is why The Alchemist remains so popular. It speaks to something almost everyone feels but cannot always explain. The feeling that life has more to offer. The feeling that we are meant to search for something. The feeling that our dreams are not random. But the book also tells us that dreams require movement. A dream locked inside the mind remains only a dream. A dream tested by action becomes a journey. Near the heart of the story is a powerful truth. Sometimes the thing we are searching for far away leads us back to something close to home. But we are not the same person when we return. This is one of the deepest meanings of the story. The treasure may look simple at the end, but the traveler is no longer simple. The journey gives meaning to the destination. Without the journey, the treasure would only be an object. With the journey, it becomes wisdom. This idea can feel surprising. Why would life send someone far away only to teach them something close? Because distance creates understanding. Sometimes we cannot recognize the value of something until we leave it. Sometimes we cannot understand ourselves until we are tested by the world. Sometimes the road away from home is actually the road back to our true self. For viewers watching this today, the message is clear. Your dream may not look like Santiago's dream. You may not be searching for treasure in a desert. But you may be searching for a better life, a new beginning, a creative path, financial freedom, peace of mind, or the courage to start again. Whatever your treasure is, the question is not only, can you find it? The question is, are you willing to become the kind of person who can receive it? The story does not promise that every dream will come true exactly the way we imagine. Life is more complex than that, but it does suggest that a sincere dream can awaken something inside us. Even if the path changes, the person who follows the call becomes stronger than the person who ignored it. And sometimes, that transformation is the real treasure. So what should we learn from the Alchemist? First, listen to the dream that keeps returning to your heart. Second, do not expect the road to be easy. Third, understand that fear is part of the journey, not a command to stop. Fourth, pay attention to lessons, people, and opportunities around you. Fifth, remember that love should not kill your purpose. And finally, understand that the treasure you seek may change you before it reaches you. In the end, the Alchemist is not just asking us to believe in dreams. It is asking us to respect the journey, because the journey is where fear becomes courage. The journey is where confusion becomes wisdom. The journey is where an ordinary person slowly becomes someone capable of living an extraordinary life. Maybe that is why this story stays in people's hearts, because deep down, everyone has a desert to cross. Everyone has a dream they are afraid to follow. Everyone has a treasure they hope is real. And everyone, at some point, must decide whether to stay with the sheep they already know or step into the unknown road that may change everything. So ask yourself, what is the dream you keep hiding from the world? What is the journey you keep delaying? And what if the life you want is waiting on the other side of the fear you keep avoiding? Because sometimes, the greatest treasure is not found in the ground, in gold, or in a faraway place. Sometimes, the greatest treasure is the person you become when you finally stop running from your own dream.